right? And there will be a lot of body movements inside, right, within your body. So all of us will stand up. Okay. Yeah, I know it's a bit of pain, but we'll do a bit of. Yeah, come on, stand up. We'll do a bit of Tadasana. Okay? What? Tadasana. That's like be on your toes. Right? Stretch. Raise your hands. Okay, and this. And then twist. Hey, बैठना नहीं है. And this. Don't do it too much. Do this. Have a long breathe in. Take it in. Take everything. Till you are tired. बातें नहीं. केवल. Right? And then take it out. Right? Once again do this Tadasana. Right? एक हाथ ऊपर, फिर एक हाथ ऊपर. नीचे, ऐसे. Yeah. Okay, looks fine now. Okay, you can set it, please. So much to sell your stuff. Okay, and I'm selling history to you. It's just that you don't have to pay me by money, but you have to pay me by your attention. Okay. So I'm here to buy your attention. Okay. So we have had a talk about like what is design history, what is design. Okay, I'll let everyone speak now, and I'll wait for 2 minutes. कर दो बात, सारी बात आज ही कर दो 2 मिनट में. Done with all your settled? Okay. So we are coming back to this varieties of design history. Now there are different varieties of any discourse, any subject, varieties of communication design, right? Varieties of product design, varieties of food, and so is varieties of design history. Right? Design history can be organized and can be written in several ways. And I'll talk about first, which is focus. With a very basic premise, क्या करोगे? Right? So there could be design history of, let's say, this bottle, where the focus is a bottle. There could be a design history based on time. So we are looking at history of water bottles in Paleolithic era, or history of water bottles in Mughal era. There could be a design history, right? There could be a place, history of Mughal water bottles in northern India. Okay. Or history of Mughal water bottles in Aurangabad, in Maharashtra, which is like one of the major centers. Or history of water bottles in Dakhan, in Hyderabad. So we can decide a place and elaborate on that. Mode of analysis. What is it in, let's say, in an object, let's say water bottle, we are analyzing? Is it like a semiotic history, that how the water bottle looks? This water bottle looks very, very royal. or this water bottle looks very, very mundane for RP. So we are doing the semiotic analysis, or we are looking at functional. Whether this bottle was purifying of the water, or whether it just storing the water, or just enhancing the water through copper or through its material. There will be different levels of analysis. Levels and audiences. For whom you are writing? Are you writing for an academic conference? Or are you writing for your parents? Are you writing for a newspaper? Are you writing for a school children for a NCERT chapter class 3? So your tone will change, your narrative will change. How will you explain a 7-year-old what is history of water bottle? Because your audience is changing. How would you show to the Instagram audience in a very different way? If your place of curation is Instagram, the history method will also change. Political perspective. What is the value that is coming out of your thing? Is it like a Gandhian history? Are we looking at, has this water bottle done something to the society? Okay, so we can have immense threads of discussion here, or a bit of philosophy. Whether it's an idealist or it's a bit difficult to know. And then we can include some external discipline like economics or sociology or feminism also, for example. Feminist history of water bottles. So through design history, I can argue that all the water bottles were designed for males. Can you do that? Can you do that? Or one can argue that no, design history or objects are not necessarily masculine or feminine, they are unisexual. They are designed for humans in mind, not necessarily the gender. Or the other school of thought, no, gender is there. So how do we evaluate? So this could be a matter of discussion historically. Right? Like we can argue that all the chairs in the class chair and table are designed according to the male body. Can we argue that? Scientifically, yes. Why? Because all the averages which are taken to refer while designing, there is a thing known as anthropometry. Have you done that? Yes, somebody is saying yes. Okay. The senior batches. So anthropometry is the measure of the body. So all the averages, all the manuals which you have are actually about American men. Men in the West are almost like 6 feet, especially if you go to Netherlands or Holland or Germany, where this data comes from. What about the Indian men? What about the Indian women? Right? So there is a standard that the gas stove slab in the kitchen or in the rasoi should be at 900 mm. But that 900 mm is through the American body, not through the Indian body. In India it becomes 800 or 850 from the ground. What is the height of this table? Right. So I want you to think of all these critical themes also. And there could be one way which is eclectic, which is mix of everything. Right? Now there are different levels or discourse in design. Right? So I'll quickly come to this. So as design historians, I told that they are also designers. So they are designing something. The first level of design history is the object itself, or the design itself. You see the chair and you say it's a historical chair. Right? You have a chair, let's say in your house, which was used by your Nanaji or Dadaji, and you say it's a historical object in my house. So the first level of design history is the object itself. Second is some writings about that particular chair. You know, somebody has written about design earlier, let's say something from 1950s, and you are kind of elaborating on that. Third would be a comparative one when we talk about the space or time. So like chairs from Gujarat, like this publication from Set. Or fourth could be global history of chair. So we are looking at chair not as an object, but as an object in the global systems. Right? So from here to there, in a very comparative way, the levels would change. Now there are certain themes in design history. There are temporal themes because time is the best way to kind of define history, or the most dominant way. How we define history? How we define history? Through the idea of time. Right? And when we read history, you would remember that we talk about modernism, postmodernism, Renaissance. Have you heard these periods? Like modernism, Renaissance? Right? So time is one very clear way of seeing history. And the other is simple, space. Whether it's a local history or the regional history. So for example, can we switch on this? Yeah. So for example, if you let's say go to Champaner, there's a Champaner place here. You go there and you meet a local guide there. What is going to talk about is local histories. अरे हमारे राजा साहब आते थे वहाँ पे घोड़े से ऐसे शिकार करते थे. So these are local accounts of a place. But in the scholarly accounts you would find totally different versions. Or in the global accounts you would find architectural histories of Champaner or certain style and all. Audience changes, level changes. Narrative changes at different levels. Then there are certain interdisciplinary themes, like you're talking about feminist history of design, or you're talking about sustainability history, and that's also the critical part. That is critical things like sustainability or heritage history, or where is Indian history of design. These critical questions are also there. Now we come to the most important part, and this is like kind of USP of this whole class. If you are able to understand this, you have understood how to pursue history in our everyday life, right? So there are several themes or several frameworks in design history. Okay. So I'll give you an assignment before that. Okay. So make a group of 6 each, which I said right now. And then I tell you the assignment. You sit together, please. Come on. Come on, थोड़ा जल्दी. Move. There. Come together. Have you made one? Why don't you sit together? थोड़ा सा अलग अलग बैठो, so that I can see a bit of. Okay, so can I know the group number 1? Can I call this the group number 1? You just have 4. 2 people would like to join here. Come. Bring your chair. I think they have chair. There are 2 stools here. You can come. So this is a group number 1. Where is the group number 2 here? 6 people. Here. Group number 3, 5. Okay. Group number 4. You too? Where? तुम 6 लोग का बन गया है? Okay. 5. So 5. So many. Here, 6. Okay. 7. तुम लोग उधर चले जाओ. हाँ ठीक है, 2 और आ जाएंगे. You have any issue with them? Please go. 7 हो गया. 8. Then okay. 9. Right. And 10. आपका नहीं बना अभी. आपका भी नहीं बना. दिमाग आपका भी नहीं बना. अरे बना है. और मिल जाओ किसी में. हाँ, दिमाग इसमें आ जाओ. आप इसमें आ जाओ. Right. So I am giving you one object, and you have to think that how we can make history of that object. And the history and the object is very popular Coke bottle or the Coke container. That's it. That's only I have to say. Coke container, not even Coke bottle. Okay. You have 10 minutes to ideate. Coke container or Coke bottle or whatever you want to call it. How will you pursue history of Coke bottle? No, you don't have to ideate new form. I'm saying history. How will you approach history of Coke bottle? History of Coke bottle. How will you approach it?
How will you find?
You can go with it.
So you kind of actually. If you had to research about Coke,
how would you start?
that's your I press
then we can move on to Coke.
But how do we reach there? Let's say you had to find the century, how would we say? Something like that. First you find out what time it was. मतलब बाहर कब है? When was the first time you got to know about it? Then the first thing you heard about the social context. Then the people get to know about it. Then you go little back step थोड़ा सा कि invent कहाँ से होगा? How well do you know about Coke? Till the first advertisement or something like that will come out.
In my head, it's more like the cowboy era when they like walk into that bar and all.
No, but that is a thought. We're saying what is the framework to find it? What is the origin story of Coke? How do we reach there? How would you pursue history of
You have to have
Coke?
a name for it.
How
I think
history is finding an image.
I start.
Okay, you have to like take it up. You have to find it.
Why would you make a concept that?
No, but I assume that how do you
पहले क्या करेंगे?
Origin of soda. How did soft drinks come into it?
But first about Coke. I think the first time people heard about Coke.
Yeah.
Social context ना कि सबसे पहले कोई advertisement ऐसे कुछ कभी आया है?
That's when you go to soda, and then the leading companies, and then how Coca-Cola also played its place in the
Coca-Cola was first. Look. But then we are already categorizing it into a soda. How do you even know it's soda? अरे but that will get me. तू पकड़ी ना. पकड़ा. तुमको कैसे पता सोडा? I get your point, but I feel that is a poor point on that is a normal approach. How do you find out? And that's my thought. If we should the first step, I would say कि when did people hear about
May 8, 18
your point is right. We could go into categories that is more data about everything and Coke. So I'm just trying to help us find about Coke. How do we know history of Coke? कौन निकला, कहाँ से निकला, कौन पहले दिया करके. People who heard about Coke, who made Coke. We should also ask who the pharmacy with our was taken. I mean, how was it used? How was it consumed? What context was it consumed? So how much? You're getting what you're trying to do here, no?
I think it is competitors. Each time they get something. But that falls under उसके जैसे और क्या क्या like what else is like that.
But I get it. We are then digressing towards the market, not about Coke.
Yeah, but that will be also okay. For example, if ruafza and it had like 50 types, so only ruafza type of material. Then we can survey, then we can like go why it became from a syrup to a soda, like from viscous material to like a liquid material, like what change happened. We can talk about.
Also, it was first Pepsi Cola and it was reformulated and named as Coke.
Okay. So how was it named? Look, what I'm trying to propose or find out here is a framework that how I see these exercises, a framework that is built to approach an item, then you can just pick up that framework and put it somewhere else as well. So competitors become the part, and then progression becomes a part. So we study the cooking, how did it evolve?
I think competitors will be like a major part because it will only evolve. Why would it to stand out from that competitor? One aspect.
History of it will be entirely if the social how did people perceive Coke? What was Coke doing? Coke was in the business not of soda. Coke was in the business of quenching thirst. Then it becomes a worldwide because the competitors get the approach you and it becomes competitive analysis that we are trained to do for current products to move forward. But this is a different perspective of understanding what it is. What you're saying is not wrong, but it's from one aspect of it.
But I'm sure how I would have to think about it and I would do it like that.
I get it. That's one perspective I acknowledge, but let us find more perspectives so that we can break it and I'm not saying you are saying that
But I'm sure how I would
the whole point is to find this at that time. I'm saying we should list down all the opinions. Who consumed, who competed, see how much.
I would even look at the time. Like the most companies like to like World War
Timeline of like even the economical status,
Yeah, that is what
social economical status.
Okay, we have the reasoning as to why people started consuming it.
Why?
Not as it was originally designed to be a liquid refresher, but as a tiny bit of commonality between all people. Like people just wanted to offer something to drink, like while having a conversation. That's how the companies
So they carried a bottle of Coca-Cola to the Jacob farm.
So how
perspective, I mean, like, like I said, that there could be multiple ways. I said that there could be a difference in focus. What is it that you're looking at? Are you looking at the bottle? Are you looking at the brand? Are you looking at advanced graphic design? Are you looking at the technology? Are you looking at the form? Are you looking at the brand ambassadors? Are you looking at, wherever Coca-Cola is there? There could be so many things. Okay, so now this has to be done formally. And this is going to be evaluated also, okay? So, I'm giving you one sheet each per group and we'll exhibit it there. You have time till 3 o'clock. Okay? Do something here. Please take it, and at the back of sheets, please write your names. Okay? At the back of sheets, please write your name.
But how is that only, that's gonna be emphasized only one group, that's
one thing maybe only related to brand. ऐसा करते ना बड़े बीच में जब वाला पट्टा डाल दो तुम्हारा वाइट बॉटल डालो ठीक है ऐसे फिट से
कोको वाला
PNG जैसा इसके ऊपर ऐसा लगा दिया तुमने और फिर जस्ट माइंड में एक साइड ब्रांड अदर साइड आर डिफरेंट अप्रोचेस बोला था ब्रांड से क्या करना
बॉटल का प्रिंट डाल के इसको काट देना है
whatever अभी पहले डेटा निकालो चलो विजुअलाइजेशन अभी एक थंबनेल बना दो इसका जो तुमको सूझ जाए गलत बात है यार ये किसने किया नहीं करना है उनको
अब कंटेंट भी क्या डालना था
वही तो पहले निकाल देखो क्या डालना है मैं बोलूँगा अगर एक सेट अगर इस तरह से अपना बन रहा है इस तरह से बनेगा इधर तो बड़ा सा ऐसा हाँ दिख रहा है मैं तो यहाँ पे ब्रांड का फाइल में बना सकता है कि ब्रांड एसोसिएशन फॉर हिस्ट्री वन फोकल पॉइंट हो गया दूसरा फोकल पॉइंट वो होगा the other one is just a variation अच्छा and preferably and then if you either or
तो ये काम करते हैं तो लेट्स से किसी ने
हाँ भाई ऐसे ही करना है फॉर्म करना मतलब मैं बोलूँगा एक महीना ओवरऑल एक ब्रांड अप्रोच हाँ ये बन जाएगा
उसको कट करना है जो बॉटल का था आइटरेशन क्या ड्रॉ भी 3 बजे तक नहीं
I'll just get a printer. You know, I didn't.
It has to be good.
What can be gone? You draw what can't be gone. I absolutely get a white Coca-Cola bottle
वाइट
in a black background. ऐसा कुछ यहाँ पर ये बहुत अच्छा लगा मुझको वाह और ये नहीं ये भी कर सकते हो
It happened like
But it's very common. ये मैंने बहुत
ये मुझे स्टिकर पे मेरी ये चलेगा क्या
मैं उसको वही बोला बट आई थिंक तुमको इसको इन्वर्स करना पड़ेगा फोटोशॉप में डाल
whatever black parts are there let's just cut it out
इट्स ऑलरेडी ऑन ब्लैक
but still the black
हाँ but I'm saying you make the photo inverse and then you put it on black
Why we don't take the Coca-Cola
red color that got much later into the while it was branded
we
and
can choose
manufactured.
any one whatever you
This was the iconic design that we this was in green starting. Then they stopped doing that and then they just put this
अगर पूरा इन्वर्स हो तो वाइट रखो why don't you use black paper for this instead of this so you just get a simple printout ब्लैक के ऊपर वाइट से लिखो ताकि अंधेरा है ना और ये रोशनी आएगी तो बता दो अंधेरा आएगा ना
व्हाइट शीट पे
तो जो सादा ये वाला लिखा है ना उसका प्रिंट आउट लेके आजा अच्छे से अच्छा हो गया एग्जैक्ट टू नेक्स्ट से कट कर ताकि उसको बीच में लगा पाएंगे क्या मेरा नंबर लिखा है
स्टॉप पे स्टॉप
होती तो नहीं
सेम सिंगल
I don't think that. OG could do something. Mark if you want. But there's no center to come. brain tonic. As a temperance drink, claimed to cure headaches, anxiety, depression, indigestion, and addiction.
Yeah, based on cocaine from the Tewari.
Cocaine was removed from coke.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even the bottle's inspiration is from the pot.
Yeah.
And apparently the red color was because so all the alcohol or alcohol barrels were taxed, and even Coca-Cola was sold in barrels at that time at Calcutta. So to avoid confusion, they started the color red to avoid confusion, and then it stayed red, and it became like an iconic color.
Coca-Cola is always associated with standing out a lot.
Yeah. And they were the original cola, like the first ever cola drink. Like they were.
Consistent efforts to stay.
Yeah, different.
Guys, 8 minutes away. Take a clock. Wrap up. Wrap up. Put all the information in place. After that, I'll go and check on the print. Start making the mind map. Both teams. Start making the mind map. I would suggest keeping your keyword in center, one circle of approach, and the third circle of information. I'm very proud.
Coca-Cola is global also. It's the Coke size, like.
Put on form or brand. Center way, then your note, what you are researching, what your point is, and वहाँ से extra information. I would suggest this because you can build over it. Convert that thing into because you are going to put on both sides, no? And check on the print, start making mind up so we can put on the paper and get it.
2020 says the utilized level. Want to be right as my जल्दी कर 99 5
Look in class.
Are you drawing something? Please draw on that sheet. Drawing this level.
हाँ तो जल्दी करना ब्रांड में रेड पे जाइए रेड का हाँ तो ये सब ब्रांड चलो हम डन
Guys, we have 3 minutes.
You start writing.
Who are good in writing? So then I understand that because I have a bad.
Okay, 2 minutes left. Let me know if you need more time.
Need more time.
Okay, 3:10 is the last deadline. 10 minutes extra. But finish it.
क्या कर रहे हो?
Right. You again write it because you won't understand my handwriting. I'll narrate it.
ब्लैक के ऊपर लिखना है वाइट पेन चाहिए ना
वाइट पेन है फिर fuck it. Leave the white पेन.
Don't you confuse. Make this
wrong mark. है फॉर्म, तुम्हारा फॉर्म है ना, फॉर्म नीचे दिखता है।
This was supposed to be in the middle. And then branch.
अभी यहाँ ऊपर से ब्रांड कर दो, कोई बात नहीं। I mean you can flip but you can just brand out anyway, it's fine. Mind map बना रहे ना कि if you're writing in points you can write however. चलो बना दो फॉर्म, चलो। ऊपर लिख के है तो फिर ऐसा प्लान कर देंगे। अरे भाई टीम ही है, you make a choice and move ahead with it. Make your format ready so you can write down. ऐसे नीचे की तरफ से हाँ, this is the bottom, this is the top. ऐसे जाता है। Blue है? हाँ, ऐसे एक चीज़ को टॉप कर देना। Just make it finish it. You have 2 more minutes.
हाँ, brief है ये लिख bottles or distinct that you would write.
नेक्स्ट 2 मिनट में हो जाएगा। उसका ऊपर ही देगा तो आपको मार्केटिंग का अपने में आएगा। If you want, if you want,
मार्केटिंग फॉर्म में भी आएगा क्योंकि all Salvador Dali and Andy Warhol use them in the painting. the actual वो mention नहीं करना
चलो because marketing I would rather suggest keep it in this one. उसको बोलो पहले. You got one last minute. Make the food grid first and finish writing the bigger points.
Yeah, I think थोड़ा सा never pops up. बस perfect.
कंपनी वो हेडिंग हो गया पैटर्न ऑफ चैनल्स
क्या करूँ मैं
Just if you want extra points,
the question
now the questions will point. It's not info. It's just topic. You don't have to give topical. You give me info is good. Go according to your. I don't want to confuse you.
मिनिमल अभी पहले ये बड़ा लिख दो ताकि इसको भी लिखने का टाइम मिलेगा नहीं तो खत्म हो जाएगा.
इधर ही आके लिख दो ना.
हाँ वही लिख देगी एक ही पेन वाइट पेन से लिखिए. जस्ट फिनिश द ग्रिड. फिनिश योर ग्रिड. राइट द टॉप पॉइंट एंड देन गिव द पॉइंट.
ये दो
छोटा नहीं बहुत ऊपर. लगा दो उसको अंदर ही हो जाएगा. पहले नीचे वाला पॉइंट लिख दो. पहले मार्केटिंग. हाँ बस कोई बात नहीं. मार्केटिंग लिख दो. बस चलेगा इतने के लिए. इतना कौन पढ़ने वाला. कोई नहीं पढ़ने वाला. बस परफेक्ट. नेक्स्ट पेन. नहीं टेक ओवर. नहीं इफ यू वांट टू राइट वन लाइन राइट दिस वन लाइन. एक ही लाइन लिखना बस. 4-5 words not more than that. लिखने को ब्रांड ऊपर ऊपर लिख रहे हैं. परफेक्ट. चलो जाओ देखो. हाँ तुम लिख रहे हो. उसको दे दो लिखने को. पट तो तुम्हारा मेरे को क्लास भी नहीं है. यार एक पॉइंट लिख के छोड़ना यार प्लीज. पहले इसका लिखो.
अब हम आते हैं ब्रांड में. देन यू गो फॉर मार्केटिंग. वन कॉलम फॉर मार्केटिंग.
उसको तीनों बता दो अलग अलग कौन सा
वो पेपर में ग्रेड वाला
ब्रांड
एक रेड हो जाएगा.
मार्केटिंग आता है
ये इधर है नीचे
मार्केटिंग रेड
इधर
फिर आता है ओरिजिनल.
तीन ही है.
हाँ मैं मार्केटिंग बता दूँगी. No. Take that away. But no. Absolutely not. Let her write them. हो जाएगा. मार्केटिंग में आता है फार्मास्यूटिकल टॉनिक कॉमन एलिमेंट्स. फार्मास्यूटिकल टॉनिक और कॉमन original cola, bracketed first cola. Third point is diversification post World War. BC को चेक करना वर्ल्ड वॉर 2 लिखा है मैंने
1 होगा ना
2 है मेरे ख्याल से शायद
1 होगा
शायद
वर्ल्ड वॉर पे रुक जाना हाँ बस वर्ल्ड वॉर पे रुक जाओ फिर बाकी चलेगा
फिर उसके बाद नेक्स्ट पे है कॉस्ट अवेलेबल फॉर एवरीवन वो एक बार चेक कर ले
फैक्ट चेक डेटा
ऑनलाइन कॉस्ट अवेलेबल फॉर एवरीवन कोका कोला की डाइवर्सिफिकेशन कब शुरू हुई लाइक made it cost available, something like that for everyone. Cost available for everyone, wanted to unite people. ये market okay, red अभी बाद में लिखते हैं origin का origin is based on cocaine from the cocaine.
Okay guys, put it here. चलो टाइम ओवर
डन सर डन इसका हो गया तो पीछे पीछे डालेंगे
And caffeine from the cola nut. Cola में cola caffeine. From the cola. Cola.
इसको निकालते हैं
हाँ फिर एक और पॉइंट है originated as a refreshment syrup as a refreshment syrup ठीक है तो एक बार इसको रेड का बता दे Let's just put this first.
Right. Okay, group 1, please come.
Now, just write red. Just write solar panel. Write solar panel. Next one, started with red. So about
Okay, I'm giving you 60 seconds.
Brand market.
Take a look. इसका length भी evaluate करो.
नाम लिखना मत कर good alcohol balance. Which one?
Okay, 40 seconds left. 40 seconds.
Which one tax?
नहीं बॉटम लेफ्ट में नहीं अपने हाथ से मत
ब्लैक से लिखो थोड़ा
ब्लैक से डोंट राइट माय नेम इट्स ओके
Just write it पीछे no.
He knows we'll write it because he's saying that.
We'll just write it पीछे no. We'll just write it.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 145. Okay, only two groups. 5 groups? Only 5 groups? Okay, which one is the first group? The one.
Okay, so basically in our thing we looked into various aspects of the design. Firstly, we went into where the first bottle was made. So John Sick made the first model. Then we went on to the roots, for the root gas company, they made the bottle and everything. Then the patent submission which was done. And then we went on to the headquarters, where the headquarters are situated, that is in Georgia and Atlanta. Then the bottle color, then the change in form, then the materials, graphics, technology, and the cork system, which was the north cork, and then it changed into the metal capsule.
So everyone can see here the approach is basically based on the form and a bit of technology, and also I think you acknowledge the designer, but the main thing or the main focus of this narrative is form, right? And then perhaps some of the other things are here. This is actually one of the more famous ones also, like the approach. So I mean, like, there's a sound, but I think it is not that good in my opinion. Right? But this is sound and safe approach that you can, and by adding a designer and a bit of technology, you are kind of thank you. Great. Now this black and this white
Okay, so basically, what idea that we got was from this that their bottle was supposed to be so original and authentic. And even if the lights are switched off, you hold a Coca-Cola bottle, you should know it's a Coca-Cola bottle. So that's what we went after. So that's why there's like darkness all around, and when the Coca-Cola bottle is present, it's illuminated. So basically we distributed the groups into part of group, and we focused on brand and form separately. We went with the idea of origins, manufacturing, and the cultural effect, how it affected the cultural or emotional impact that it had on people. Similarly, we went with the brand, we went for marketing, the color, why the color red is there, and of course the origin of what it is.
So yeah, so another way of doing a bit of history, I mean, it would have been great to show some metamorphosis, how things have changed. So that would have shown a sense of time also. But even the division between the form of the existence and the communication is also nice. So similarly, in the future histories that we'll be doing, form and communication are the two things which you can look into, perhaps, and then elaborate more on that. Even in your own projects that you're doing, whether you're doing industrial design, or the product design, or communication design, or now you have interaction design here also, interaction design, all you have to do is to kind of segregate all these components historically, right? So that you are able to address them, that what value are you adding to each of these products. Thank you.
So what I think like the value over here is more like the idea of that is still timeless, still new. Like
Right.
if I hold a Coca-Cola bottle, I know it's Coca-Cola.
Right. So I forgot about the tactile size which she mentioned. There's certain tactility also in the Coca-Cola bottle. And that tactility is in some other objects also, I think.
In other objects or just the bottle?
Right. So for example, like for example, if you have Apple products,
Right.
right? So in Apple products, there is one characteristic feature. Do you have an Apple MacBook here or an iPhone?
iPhone.
Right. So for example, I have two iPhones here. I can hold it. So there are two iPhones here, and you can see that there is one interesting feature. I mean, though there is one, this one is the bigger one, the plus one, and this one is the smaller one, right? So the radius is same, right? And this radius is same in the iPads also. This radius is same in the MacBooks also. So that is, the form is the branding in Apple's case, right? Here logo is the branding here. For Apple, form and this particular radius feature is branding. So even if you are just touching it, you can say that whether it's a genuine Apple product or not. There have been many Apple copies. I also have used it, like a brand name is Xiaomi. Okay? And Xiaomi started with the stance that they are people's Apple. They are not kind of Apple only for the people who can afford it, but everyone who can afford an Apple, and that Apple would be Xiaomi. They also try to make good products, but one thing which they lacked was the branding consistency, especially in terms of form integration. How do they integrate their whole ideas of the consistency in form? They were not able to do it. Apple were able to do it. So even if they make a new product, a smaller phone and all, this radius is going to be same. Right? So this is like a lucky radius or golden radius for Apple, which will be consistent throughout all the series of iPhones. So even the first iPhone, you will find the same radius. This filleted edge you are seeing here, this is what Apple. उसके अंदर वो they do all the iteration, कभी camera diagonal, कभी straight, कभी horizontal, और कभी they'll expand it, they'll make so like this is a square curve. It's not a square, it's not a circle, but it's still a bit of square. But if you look at Samsung, for example, Samsung in the recent times has tried to develop a square curve. So in their Galaxy series and all, but they have not even able to scale it up. So historically, when you will evaluate them, you won't find certain consistency measures. Coca-Cola has been able to do it in terms of branding, and like she said, touch. They were able to do it in glass because of the same material. But when they shifted to plastic, all the bottles look more or less same. Right? All the mineral water bottle, the filtered water bottle almost look the same. But there are few odd ones also, which you'll find. Like I saw Ava here, there's one brand name is Ava, which is a bit different. And Malia is a bit different. So just see, like as a
Straight one.
yeah, and there's one Kua, like it's a square one.
It's a grey cap one.
Yeah.
Mostly found in
So how do, and that kind of strikes you, oh, this is different. This is not the usual thing. So sometimes you do things a bit differently, right? And historically also you can see that. Thank you. So we'll move to this one. Who's this? Who's the third one here?
Is it working?
So we decided on what do we have to approach the history of the Coca-Cola container. So first was the material of the container. Right now, at this present generation, we have the plastic and the can material. Earlier, glass used to be easily produced. That is why glass was there. So maybe the same timeline, but the major differences in the design and the form of the bottle, we had taken it. The first one was simple and straight, but they needed something new. And there was a greenish tint in the glass bottle because of the glass production that time. So they changed it to 1916. It appeared like a beer bottle, which was, and that time the kids were, I think 1940s, we got the kids to drink Coca-Cola. Before that, it looked like a beer bottle. That is why children were not drinking it. After the consumer changed to even children and adults, we got the standard bottle of 1957, which is used even right now. From that, the bottles changed to, the material of the bottle changed to plastic bottle and aluminium can. Aluminium can because now all the colas and sodas will go hand in hand and easily, you can easily take the bottle. Yeah, so after that is the capacity of the liquid. We've seen the capacity of the liquid that the bottle holds changes from time to time. So there has been the 12 oz container, there has been 12 oz glass container, aluminium container, and in the middle there was a gallon bottle. So Coca-Cola used to sell it to different restaurants for a soda fountain in the typical American restaurant. So a gallon was made, and that was designed as a container, and that went into different parts. However, even during the shipping of that parts, other competitors of Coca-Cola, they used to make Coca-Cola and then label their own brand on it. So they started painting it with red and selling them to different transportation materials. Next was the color. As I said, the first color was a greenish tint. However, the branding kept on it has changed over the years. The red has kept on changing because of the new printing techniques as well. So this is the first logo and this is the most recent logo of Coca-Cola. We went to the form and the typography and logo as well. So yeah, that is it.
Right. So who was the person? So this proposal.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Somebody.
So very clear articulation that what is the state of the form and what would be the technology of that particular channel. So you look at solution and you know this was the state of the art technology then, right? So the moment you see that there is a PET bottle in Coca-Cola, you know that now the vacuum forming technology is available. Okay. Maybe in future we have 3D printed Coca-Cola bottles or containers, and then we say, okay, this was the time of mass production of 3D printed technologies, right? And maybe in a time we have terracotta Coca-Cola bottles, right? And then we might say that this was the time when people realized that they should go sustainable and how they can. So there was a paradox because Coca-Cola is actually a capitalist company, and working with terracotta or mitti is a very kind of bottom of the pyramid activity in terms of economics, right? So you see the form and you see the technology, and you are able to read the context. Like this container one and all. I mean, it's good that you have gone beyond the bottle and look. That's why I said container, not the bottle. And your group has actually done that. So yeah, so that's good. Okay, this group. Who is this? Okay.
So we went even for the invention of bottle in Coca-Cola, that how Coca-Cola was discovered, and they were used in making herbal teas for curing AIDS and diseases. So these were also used separately, and they also used cola nut for other medicinal purposes. So this guy, John Pemberton, he took those nuts and he made his own syrup, sugar syrup, and he added carbonated water to it. So that's when they did Coca-Cola. But what was the process which he faced, which was he made the first version of Coca-Cola and he took it to Jacob Pharmacy, which was his friend at town. So over there he took the glass, he shared with his friends, and they said it was good and all. So they first opened their stall, but not even like that kind of thing. They filled it in barrel, and exactly what she said were they distributed in restaurants and they used in fountain. So this was it even included the form also. So this was his process. Then how the Coca-Cola was made, and after the process how it was got into production. This was the barrel, then the glass bottle procedure, and the final form was achieved. And yeah, then it became a capitalist company and everything after that.
Very nice.
So, which group is this? Can you raise your hand? Okay. So you guys are sitting here. Okay. So just so a very interesting thing that they have gone before the bottle. What has happened before the bottle, and they have the idea of origin and perhaps the chemical. I mean, you could have also explored the chemical composition of it.
We went over there, but it was cocaine, which was like drugs.
Actually, that's why it is cocaine. That's why it was not mass produced in that time.
So this guy,
and later on it shifted for mass production. They included the more sugary kind of a drink, and then it was transported to the country.
what I think
So is it the reason why it is so addictive?
yeah, coming to that, what I think is the guy that invented this thing was the guy I don't know. So he took the drug out of it and made modern day drugs.
So this is also interesting that how things are appropriated, how things which are not considered very ethical, legal, or moral are also brought into mass consumerism. For example, like I went to some parts of Europe. I remember Vienna, and I saw one hemp shop. Hemp, which is marijuana. Yeah. They are selling hemp soap, hemp dew, things made out of hemp and all. And so it is legal in Australia to develop things from hemp. Okay. In India, they do. You know what people can do just to earn some money. But there is a conscious, responsible use of the material. Hemp, of course, has a lot of good qualities, and that's why it has so much of place in our mythology also. So you would see hemp, one of the forms of hemp, if you go to north, you find bhang, right? And bhang has a religious significance also, and a mythological significance also. It is often used to kind of tone you down, right? Sometimes, and it also has a lot of medication purposes also. But of course, taken into very raw hands, it can have a totally different meaning. Right? So, this very interesting part. So, it is not just the water that they are looking into. They are also looking into what's inside the bottle and what has happened to it. Very interesting. Yeah, like this happy bottle.
Yeah, so at the end I was like, final bottle should celebrate it. What if it's a caricature at night?
And then now Coca-Cola is like a culture. It's not just a bottle. Coke is a culture.
Yeah.
Like Indian Punjabi khana, if you go to Punjabi restaurant and all, dhaba mein jaoge to they'll give you Coca-Cola. Domino's jaoge, they'll give you Pepsi. So they have collaborated Pepsi. So food is complicated. Okay, this group?
Yes, sir.
Hello. Okay, so first I would like to introduce our topic. We have focused on the form of the bottle. Okay. I would like to start with the thing that the Coke was invented by Dr. John Pemberton, and the first bottle was made out of made for syrup. Right?
So you could have included. Your group could have included a lot of information visually.
Right. We wanted to, but our certain plans failed. Means we took the print out, the print was actually rasterized.
No.
Okay, so first bottle was made of syrup in 1800s. So it was introduced 1880, where the syrup was there, which you have to bring it, mix it in the water, and add carbonated water into it, and then you have to drink. So after later then the first bottle was introduced in 1899, which was made out of glass, means manufactured using blow molding technique. There was no the lid, aluminum lid. There was cork used for the capping of the bottle. For the first time, it looks like the milk bottle which used to come in the past, and there was also a branding embossed on the Coke bottle, Coca-Cola brand. Also, I would like to take the cultural impacts on the bottle form. So, first I would like to talk about the logo. The logo includes some part of Denmark flag, right? It's a color and color scheme, and color scheme is inspired from Denmark flag, and the Denmark flag is then into the Coca-Cola logo. You later find it. Also,
is it a fact or you're reading?
No, not my analysis. It is a fact. It is a proven fact. Also, the cultural impact means the president would also drink, the poor person can also drink. So no discrimination Coke offers. Okay. Manufacturing. So blow molding, starting में blow molding technique use होती थी. बाद में plastic की bottle आई, cans आए. This way the journey was started. Journey took place. Ergonomics. So you would like to see that the bottle were straight, streamlined, ऊपर से थोड़ा यहाँ पे cork use होता था वगैरह. So later we would see that taper was added over here. Taper was on the bottle neck also. So also manufacturing time reduced करने के लिए, and later they shifted to the what to say, stickers on the bottle.
Right. So, for the interest of time, I understand that we've covered all these topics. Okay. If you get time, please add some more sketches because it's going to be evaluated. Sure. Right? Everyone, if you want to improve it, please improve it. But you cannot change it. Right? So, what they are doing, they are looking into different. Shh. Is it something important? So, you can actually look and divide your whole narrative into different parts and have parallel histories of each of these things. Like, we are doing, let's say, Coca-Cola bottle projects, so we'll cover ergonomics, or we'll cover branding, or we'll cover mass consciousness. Like, there's different slogans of Coca-Cola at different times. Like, when I was a kid, there was a slogan known as Thanda Matlab Coca-Cola. Right? I don't know if you know about it. So, Amir Khan was the brand ambassador. And he said, Thanda Matlab Coca-Cola. So, wherever we used to go to, like, shop, we said, we had Thanda. Do not say Coca-Cola. So, it was contextualization of a global brand. Okay? Like, Thumbs Up, or I think Mountain Dew has, like, there's Aaj Kuch Tufani Karte Hain. Mountain Dew. So, people will go and say, so, like, I mean, these are, sometimes these captions are sometimes very, very catchy. They are also lame, sometimes very stupid. Okay, but it attracts your attention. Okay, and that's the purpose of the brand. To make it as, as common as we are. Okay, we are intelligent, we are lame, we are stupid, we are celebrating. Okay, last group here. Last group, yeah.
So we decided to focus on the form and the logos. When Coke got popular, they decided to bottle it instead of like keeping it in a soda fountain. So they bottled it in 1899, and so they started the other companies like Coca-Cola companies like that started like in copyright infringement. So they decided to make a new bottling with this diamond logo on it. But even that got old, and during 1957, that's when the iconic Coca-Cola bottle came. And and then when we move on to the logos, so this text was what they used for like the newspapers for the coupons and stuff. And then they moved on to more minimalistic Coke. In fact, in 1945, the people kind of like pressurized the company into going into Coke, and they started using it on their products. So even the first astronauts used it for Coke in their cans. And so this was designed by the company's accountant Robinson. The font is called Spencer font. So it's iconic.
Okay. So again, tracing different brand also, and also the bottle. So that's also an approach which many of you have actually already taken, and they have also done so. Okay. Now there's one more added here. I didn't see it earlier. Okay. So, which group is it?
Mine is this one.
Okay, please.
I would like to start from the backstory of Coca-Cola. It was created in 1886 by John Pemberton, as like everybody said. Then the evolution of logos and water was something like creative. They changed it many times, around 12 times the logos and 6 to 7 times the waters. It was explained previously. Name and signature color when launched, like Coca-Cola used the ingredients such as cocaine and caffeine, so that's why the name of the brand came from that word, Coca-Cola. Now I'd like to focus on this creative marketing strategy of Coca-Cola, which was like this call in Dubai, South Asian workers used to work there. So the income of the workers was around $0.91, $0.6. So the income was $6 per day and the call rates were $0.91.
Right.
So yeah, so the Coca-Cola found like an opportunity here and make like call booths like this, which cost 69 cents for like so the workers can put the Coca-Cola caps inside and call, make a call for around 1 minute. So this was one of the creative marketing strategies which Coca-Cola used. So yeah.
So that's nice. So sometimes they look into that, what you can do more with the products other than the drinking. Okay. So one strategy in design history could also be to look beyond its obvious usage. Like, if something is used for, let's say, X purpose, how it is used beyond that. That's also a study, or that's also a conscious interest of designers. So I'm going to explain this in my slide also. But you would see, how many of you live in the hostel here? So what's the state of chair in your room? क्या क्या रखा रहता है chair में? Okay. So this chair is meant for sitting, but it's actually a storage, right? And so is the bed. I do not know what the girls, how the girls live, right? But for boys, जब उनको सोना होता तो सब कुछ हटा करके ऐसे करके साइड में सो जाते हैं. Or sometimes they just sleep on the floor. I mean, if they are not bothered about this stuff and all. So, I mean, designers design for certain usage, but the users, even though they are designers, you guys are designers, right? You are using it beyond obvious usage. We will cover that in what we call it in the slides. Okay, thank you. Last, the logo one. Please, that look.
Logos of the Coca-Cola and the evolution of logos till now. So initially in 1886, Coca-Cola was introduced as a wine. Actually it was called as Prince Wine Coke and it was sold in medicine stores in a small glass bottle initially. And then the law was passed prohibiting all the alcoholic drinks. That is why actually Coca-Cola was invented and also the new logo. The logo is very in a
So just to interrupt you here, just see that how products are innovated. Okay, so here you are not looking at the bottle, but looking at that legal framework. And this is actually a good strategy for innovation. Where you can innovate, you can read between the lines, you can put in things in between the loopholes and invent something like Coca-Cola. Yes, please continue.
Okay. So the second logo, after the wine mala, was actually Scandinavian font. And it was supposed to look curvy and fun and dramatic. That is why it was like that. And then in 1889 and 1890, Coca-Cola came up with two different logos, which were like, add-on of the first logo, but they tried to replicate the Art Nouveau style, and that's why they added all the ribbons and the diamonds to that. But this was discontinued 1 year later in 1891. And in that year, they came up with the iconic color palette, which was the red and white Coca-Cola thing that you see right now. And in fact, it was so successful that less than 1% of Americans are not able to recognize the Coca-Cola bottle or the logo. So this is again in the same font, Spencerian, but they just changed the alignment of letters and the sizes, and they also added the thickness under the stripe of C. Okay. So then, in 1893, for the first time, the C of Coca-Cola got patented by the USA, and that's why they added the trademark thing in the stripe below the C. It's not visible in the print, but on the bottle it was visible. After that, in 1941, the same logo was again in red color. But this time, the O changed and the C ka upar ka, first it was little bold and it was not that neat. They made it a little neater, like they removed the teardrop shape. And they also made it a little snap, so that it looked balanced overall. Then in 1958, they started experimenting with backgrounds. So now in 1941, the logo remains fixed, and afterwards, all you see is the change in background. So So first, this curvy shape was put up so that it could be marketed in vending machines and stalls. Then in 1969, actually, a letter Enjoy Coca-Cola was added. Before it used to be Drink Coca-Cola, but now they added Enjoy Coca-Cola. Also they added the dramatic ribbon stripe, and it was called as, I don't know, it is the square thing, it's called as Arden Square, and it is inspired by Elizabeth Arden, who was a cosmetic entrepreneur. And later in 1897, the stripe was made more dramatic by adding a grey colored stripe below it. It was added to give it more depth, that is right. Then in 2003, they tried to do the maximalistic thing by adding yellow and some bubbles to the stripe. The most interesting thing I found was the 2021 campaign. It is called as the Hum logo. They just made the logo spherical to look as if it is hugging the bottle. And majorly, I think it was because after the COVID pandemic, we had the distancing, and that's why they wanted to show pure moments of joy. That is what they have written in their campaign. And currently, the logo that is most famous and the most followed one is this one. And it is again in the Pennsylvanian font. And there is a Danish flag you can see between the letter O and L.
So that's what he was also saying, yeah.
But it was not intended.
Right.
But once you could see, they just used it as a marketing strategy. Another thing I wanted to add is
so like the moment I'm staying in this your estate, how many of you are staying in this your estate? So this your space. Yeah, your space. Oh, that's all. So I'm staying there, and there's a guest house there at the upper 6th floor and all. So they gave me a shampoo, like a conditioner, and a body wash. And I kept it there, and the body wash is orange in color, conditioner is white in color, and shampoo is in green color. Is it like conscious? Like, you know, but that's a bit weird. I mean, like, sometimes branding could be like, you know, subconsciously very, very kind of.
Actually, another thing that happened subconsciously with Coca-Cola was when they actually produced their glass bottles. Initially, they did it because they wanted to be distinctive from the soda bottles. So when the Roots company produced the first set of glass bottles that came in 1916, they were green in color.
Right.
And it was called as German green. But they used, and it was green in color because the sand that they used to produce.
So that tint was there.
It was a tint, but it was because copper was present in the sand. It was not intended to be there, but it was there. So they turned it into a marketing opportunity and started calling it Georgia green. Because Georgia is the place where Coca-Cola was first invented.
So, yeah, good work. I see that, you know, just a bit, you guys are enthusiastic, but you know, you're a bit holding back in expressing yourself in terms of sketches. I'm seeing this in your notes also. Many of you are just writing in lines and language. Not many of you are making sketches. Right? And I know that, you know, you have come through a very rigorous exam here, and everyone was almost very interested in pursuing design. Please understand that design is going to be your bread and butter from here on. You have to be really good at it. So many designers are there. NID पढ़ा रहा है, IT पढ़ा रहा है. You guys are also there. So these are the certain things which you cannot negotiate. So your hand should always be moving. And I also see that, you know, many of you are just doing WhatsApp and all. Right? Don't take it personally, but all these things can wait. You keep a pen and you keep a small white diary. Always sketch. Keep sketching. Even while you're sitting like this, keep sketching. Your hand should be just moving. Right? Your hand should never be idle. If she's talking about Coca-Cola, you should have drawn a Coca-Cola logo yourself to read that, okay, this is how it is. I know. I don't want to make you guilty. Okay. But just want to make you realize the competition is tough. You have to be really good at your skills. And there's absolutely no time to waste. You have to continuously sit, and I'm sure that I'm not the only one who is saying this. स्केचबुक लेके पूरे टाइम बैठा करो और उस पर बस हाथ चलाया करो, whether it's history class, whether it's science class, or whatever the class is. You're here to study design, man. You're going to be a designer. What else are you here for? Degree तो तुमको मिल जाएगा, but whether you be a designer or not, that's a different thing. Right? Competition is tight. अभी जाओगे थोड़ा कहीं internship करने या कुछ, you will see the skill levels of different institutions. So don't be overconfident. Be confident, but don't be overconfident. Keep yourself humble. Keep sketching, पूरे time. Right? So that attitude I should have seen in the sheets. बहुत मेहनत करनी पड़ी बनाने के लिए ना, ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए. फर्स्ट क्या सोचना, क्या है, सोचो ऐसे हाथ ड्रॉ करके सोचो.
सर एक फियर रहता है कि गंदा बनेगा तो
क्या होगा, कुछ नहीं. मेरा तो स्केचिंग बहुत खराब है, फिर भी आई टीच स्केचिंग. So sketching is not there for perfect sketching. Sketching is there to communicate your ideas, record your ideas. You sketch for yourself, do not share your sketchbook. अपने लिए sketchbook करो. Why do you think that anything that you do is there to just show others? No, you are doing for your own development. You don't have to show others that this is how you sketch. No. Many of you I know write poems. They write poems only for themselves. But if you write poems, are you interested in publishing them? No, not all the poets are interested in sharing their poems. कई लोग बाथरूम सिंगर्स होते हैं. Think about it, okay? Do not think about it, sketch about it. Okay. So I should see your hand moving now, okay? Okay, so many of these things actually you have covered. Now in the last sections, we'll see that how in academics we say all these things. Something, Okay. So I'm going to show you 9 ways of doing design history out of 10,000 ways or a million ways. Okay, and these 9 approaches will have focus on designer or a product, systemic interaction or meaning. I'll explain this, these are heavy words, but you get to know. Product we have already done a bit, that is Coca-Cola. Right? And we'll see in different time spans. Yes. If you invite me for a week, we'll do Indian, Taiwanese, Japanese, everything. So what I'm trying to convey here is
Generally, I convey here in a semester at IIT. So there are longish sessions and all. So this is like an academic framework. Next time I'll keep this in mind. Very interesting. Okay, so first focus on design history, and it comes from majorly art history background. Anyone knows who is this person? If you were preparing for your architecture, NATA, yes, this guy is Le Corbusier, okay, a very famous Swiss architect who came to India and built the city of Chandigarh. How many of you been to Chandigarh? Right. So Chandigarh as a city, as architecture, was built and guided by Le Corbusier. Right? And he is known as the icon of modern architecture. When we study design history in terms of individuals and their work, this is known as pioneer approach. So what we do in this approach, we take architect or designer or artist and then see what they have done in their life. Right? And Ahmedabad is famous for that. So because Ahmedabad has many architects, and you would find that each architect has a monograph showcasing what work they have done. You go to any firm, they'll say what they have done. So design history, one of the first ways of covering design history is known as pioneers method. It is borrowed from art history. Have you studied art history a bit, like modernism, cubism?
Yes.
So how, and what we are discussing? We are discussing individuals and their painting, like Picasso. Or when we are discussing Renaissance, we are discussing Leonardo and his sketches, and so on. I mean, I'm sure it's not necessary that you've covered everything, but you would see an approach that there is an individual who is like very godly, like a maverick, right? And then we are discussing their work. And sometimes you also want to become like that. You kind of dream that you'll be taught in all these design schools your work. Isn't it? You should dream that. So this thing is known as pioneer approach, and it is very, very common in art and architecture history. But it creates certain icon worshipping trend. So what happens? So you're covering, let's say we discuss history of cricket. We are covering history of cricket, but we are not looking into the game. We are looking into the icons. Sachin Tendulkar ne ye kiya, Virat Kohli ne ye kiya, Gavaskar ne ye kiya, Lara did this. We are discussing the individuals here. So this is also one way of doing history. And if you have seen this account from IDC by Professor Mandarane, and it kind of showcase how IDC was made or built, an idea was made. This is individual. Now the second is the thing that we have already covered. Right? You just see this, what is happening here. So what has happened here? I'll show again. Yes, someone said something? Process, very nice. Cycle. Recycling. Very, very good, very good. So what is it? This is known as production consumption model. So what do? We try to trace a product from very basic production. And these days, what's the production like? There is an ideation in the design studio. Right from the sketching part to the finality to the consumption part, we are tracing it. And we are also looking at the afterlife. What is happening beyond life, right? We are looking at the whole cycle of things. And in this manner also we can pursue design history. Right? In this we take whole part, whole approach. What is whole approach? we are looking at the system, we are looking at the large part, and then we are looking at the smaller part, and then we are looking at the large part again. Right? It is like zoom in, zoom out, or zoom out, zoom in. Sorry for the blurred image. So what is happening here? Branding. What else? What else we can call this? Marketing. So this is known as mediation, and this particular model is looking at production consumption mediation. So we are not looking Coca-Cola as an object. We are looking at Coca-Cola as a phenomenon, what it does to society. Right? So that's another thing. Now, look at this. Right? So we are looking at the life of a Coca-Cola bottle, but we are also interested in the afterlife. Right? And there will be many objects around us, especially in India, which goes beyond its afterlife. Anything? Like your t-shirt becomes pocha. Everyone is smiling. So it means that it's a very, very usual phenomenon in our homes. What else? टायर का सोफा बन जाता है, सेटिंग बन जाता है, सोफा नहीं सेटिंग।
Empty container.
हाँ, गैस के नीचे रख सकते हैं।
Empty container.
Empty container. Spices, very nice. हाँ, Asian paint.
Yes. Cooking वाला box होता है, इसमें diesel डालते हैं।
Right. So we look for these small little spaces which you cannot clean. I mean, the afterlife of a toothbrush is that. Okay, and so many things at our home. I mean, Indians are unique in there, right? So this is what we're doing, this cultural biography. Then there's a biography of consumption, but there's a cultural biography also that we're looking at. This model is also there in design history. Then this is also the way you can narrate design history. So the tracing the value, adoption, use and configuration of an object in biographical life. Now, what is this?
Wow.
You know what is this? I hope CPU. Right? So like really hot place perhaps like Jaisalmer, Jodhpur, or Delhi, Ahmedabad. So what you're doing? We are looking into that what humans have done. So the issue is not what design does to people. The issue is what people do with design. And chair is another example. Chair is a storage unit in your room. It has all the things, right from the books to your top to your denims. I hope not the shoes. So there's certain limit there also. And it is you can layer the chair also. एक कपड़ा, दो कपड़ा, उसके बाद उसको पहना दिया. So in the end, chair would become like a member in your room. Okay. So how concrete products, object technologies undergo transformations in the hands of their users. So this is one technology, right? And this is another technology. Nobody has imagined that how these technologies will be fused, other than the Indians or the people in the global south, where there are low resource scenarios. And this we also call as जुगाड़. कहीं का कुछ था, कुछ और उसमें लगा के बना दिया. Now there are certain systemic interactions also. So what is it that we are seeing here? A basic evolution, right? And this evolution we are seeing in form, we are seeing in technology, we are seeing in material, We are seeing in the graphics, at least 3 things we can see. This way also you can trace it, and many of you have done it there also. Right? But the systemic interaction is about how the form interacts with the technology. Is there anything important? So, okay, I forgot your name. Swasti. Swasti, how do you talk to you on phone? How do you talk on phone? Take the phone and do some bit of acting. Yeah, hello. Hello. कुछ लोग तो ऐसे होते हैं ना, ऐसे ऐसे फोन आया, हाँ बोल. So, but this is not the way we talk in our usual sense. How do we talk? Like these girls are talking. ये दोनों पीछे बैठ के आराम से बात कर रहे हैं, आमने सामने. So this is the way we talk. Even there is a class. कुछ भी हो रही हमें तो बात करनी है. This is the way we talk. And this is how humans have evolved, by interacting. Okay. So that's it. So what is happening here? This thing is known as technological determinism. When a technology forces you to change behavior of your usual human interaction. Anyone interested in the interaction design in this class? Huh? Minors. So anyone will be taking minor interaction design? You already have taken it. It has the highest number of jobs. You guys are smart. पैसा भी कमाना है तुम लोगों को. तो ये कॉन्सेप्ट समझ लो फिर पैसा कमाने के लिए. राइट? अभी भी चल रहा है ह्यूमन इंटरेक्शन. वाह. So telephone changed the way we talk to our peers, to our friends, to our family. That thing is known as technological determinism. I'll give another example later. But there is also social construction of technology. And what it does, humans have also changed the telephone. How? We have the WhatsApp call now. Or before that we had the Skype. So what we have done with the phone, we have made the phone the way we interact, like in this, into the eyes of each other. Right? First thing is known as technological determinism, where technology changes human behavior. And second is social construction of technology, when human behavior changes the technology or shapes the technology. Please remember these concepts. They are very helpful in your later years. Right? So I'm going to show you 4 bicycles. Okay. Which one you think is like, a breakthrough for, if you see from the perspective of gender? 1885. Why? Designed for women. And what this bicycle is known as today? Very nice. Ladies' bicycle. Gents would know it. Perhaps ladies won't know. Right? So, I'll explain you what is technological determinism here. Before this, ladies were forced to wear trousers to ride a bicycle. There should be a choice whether they want to wear a trouser or not. So the design forced a particular population, 50% of world's population, it forced to wear trousers. And so there was a change in the product. And then came the ladies' bicycle. Now with the skirts also they can ride a bicycle. So this particular design kind of changed the whole social dynamics. What's your name? You have a brother? What's his name? Varun. Okay. So imagine Srishti's family. So Mama says, Srishti, jao dahi lekar ke aao. So Srishti before 1885 said, no, how can I bring? I don't have a cycle. There's no cycle. So Varun will go. So you'll see more and more men in the streets. But after 1885, when this technology came, Srishti could also bring anything from the market. Okay? You have to see this innovation from the perspective of society. Right?
revel, nothing. Another thing is that it's not just one factor which changes a design. There are multiple factors, including, let's take this chair again, my favorite. So you have seen this Neel Kamal chair everywhere, the plastic chair. So they're everywhere, na? So when I was a small kid, there were these metal chairs in all these marriages. उनके ऊपर ना वो क्लॉथ चढ़ाते थे. अभी वो भी प्लास्टिक चेयर हो गया, उनके ऊपर लेकिन क्लॉथ चढ़ा रहे हैं वहाँ पे. If you go to any rich person's place in Gujarat or in Tamil Nadu, you would find that plastic chair. Even the person is rich, no problem. Plastic chair will be there. Even if you go to a slum, have you done some social exposure now? You would go there and what they'll do, they stack out the 4 chairs and make a space for you. Arey aaiye baithiye. So plastic chair, they are ubiquitous. They are everywhere, right? But in India, plastic chairs, how did they arrive? With multiple factors. First is liberalization. You understand what is liberalization? Or the opening of the Indian economy to lot of manufacturing units in Gujarat, especially Vapi area, if you know, right? Vapi and northern Bombay region. So now you could make plastic chair. Second, openness in importing the raw material of plastic, because plastic chairs are made out of one plastic thing. And so many other factors. And this is where active network theory would come, that it would include not just the social factors, but also economic factors, human factors, all the factors possible, and put them into one ring and then evaluate. Have you used mirror board?
Yeah.
So just imagine it's like a mapping of the mirror board, including several factors. Now let's look at the meanings part of it. क्या बोलते हैं इसको? कट्टा बोला किसी ने. Right for Varshu? Right. So why did you say katta? It is क्या बोलते हैं इसको? तुम्हारे क्या बोलते हैं? Just पिस्तौल. अच्छा. बंदूक. और इसको क्या बोलते हैं? So we see the object and we read different things. So first reading is what? Linguistic reading. इसको बोलते क्या होंगे? So like I said, na rasoi or kitchen. You see some configuration whether you call it rasoi or kitchen. Mentally you will decide. Similarly, अच्छा अब इसका सेकंड डिग्री. इसको कौन यूज करता होगा? पुलिस. बताओ. Last 10 minutes. थोड़ा एनर्जी. बताओ इसको कौन यूज करता है? इसको कौन यूज करता है? इसको कौन यूज करता है? तो मान लीजिए सरदार खान यूज करता है, फैजल यूज करता है. Basically local goons, right? There is certain locality associated with this, and this is very sophisticated. We look at the object and we say whether it's local or global, international. And this happens when you go and shop also. You are looking for a shirt, local or very global. You are making the choices. So there are 2 levels of meaning. First is affordance. You know what is affordance? Don Norman सुना होगा ना कई लोगों ने. What is affordance? What is affordability? नहीं, affordance. So you see that chair. If you are tired, your body will tell you to sit here. Right? So your mind is controlled by the form and it is inviting to sit you there.
If you are tired, you will sleep here at the table. You see the handle? Either pull or push. So form has meanings which are very immediate and which are very functional in nature. Second, it has a larger meaning also. And this deals with taste, class, user. इसको कौन यूज करता होगा, इसका यूजर कौन होगा. You see a diamond, a Swarovski diamond, and you know who's going to be user for that, right? So these are embedded meanings in the form, and you can trace histories also in this way. Okay, now the last one. What is this? क्या बोल, इसको क्या बोलते हैं? Very nice, चुल्लू. तो बोलते हैं चुल्लू का पानी में डूब मरो. So this is that चुल्लू, जहाँ आप सबको जाना है. Okay, and now this is what?
Sophisticated chullu.
Glass. किस मेटल का है ये ग्लास? Brass. Actually, I wanted to have the golden one, but Photoshop में color correct नहीं हुआ. But assume this is golden glass. Okay. Do you have golden glass at home? No. So you are to have glass of gold. But people can have, and it's an extremely hedonistic idea. And this is what? Glass. So this is that glass, जहाँ से गिलास नाम आया है. This is that literally glass. And there's another glass which is copper. थोड़ा celebratory, थोड़ा सा emotional, right? In चारों glasses को if you want to kind of plot, okay, in a Cartesian axis. So this glass actually is ascetic in nature. You understand what is ascetic? Which is very minimal, which is objectless in fact. This is not even a glass. There is not even a glass. Your human body can take the glass. So the objectless chair was always the floor for Indians, like I said, no? Or chabutra. So this is objectless, which is very minimal, and this is maximal, very, very stupid. This is a technical solution for a glass, जहाँ इसका नाम है, and then there is a emotional solution. You can plot the cloth also like this. For example, we'll place Gandhi ji and his dhoti here, right? Gandhi ji with a dhoti here, और उससे भी कम क्या many Jainis here, Digamba Jain. So Digamba Jain you would find they denounce everything, including the cloth. So that's why they are all ascetics. They don't own anything. They don't have anything, right? So the Digamba will be here, minimal, extremely minimal. And a person like, how many of you know who can be here in the hedonistic one? Ambani is also very simple actually, if you look at it. Like any Raja, like a lot of things. Yeah, Maharashtra, like Vijay Mallya, if you know. Vijay Mallya, you know? Like, you know, hedonistic things and all. There's a cult figure known as Dan Bilzerian. Dan Bilzerian, you know? Yeah. Okay? Surrounded with a lot of hedonistic, very, very material things. You would put them here. In the technical one, what would be there? Like, for example, something which is used for technical purpose. What would be the technical purpose? वो फायर बुझाने वाले होते हैं ना जो, the fire department. They are wearing a suit, so their cloth can be classified here very technical one. की ज़रूरत है. The people who are working in a lab, technical one. The doctors during the COVID times, technical one. Emotional one कौन? Emotional वाले में कौन आएगा? मेरी दादी की साड़ी. Right? A shirt gifted by my girlfriend. Emotional one. Right? I don't know what you guys give these days. I can only talk about my child. Right? So emotion is something which is very, very personal. Okay? You can plot the objects around you. So where would you classify this? And the one in your hand? Show it to everyone. Emotional. So it has more than technical values. And aesthetic, we all know. जाओ और पानी वहाँ से लगा के and golden would be like someone has that really expensive bottle. But this is not very expensive. Right. Okay guys, so just to remind you, we have covered 9 frameworks or 9 methodologies of it. Right? First, you remember, was based on pioneers of modern design. We were discussing individuals, and that was designer and product. Second was production consumption, PCM, mediation, you remember, marketing, then cultural biography, then domestication. Everything was product and system. Then social construction technology, where we talk about the phone and how we have changed the phone. That is systemic interaction, assembly and system and all. System analysis and viewpoints of life and nature, they are meaning-based discussions. So in any design history also, you can choose any framework like that. Because unless and until you take a narrative, nobody is going to listen to your story. Just map kar doge, koi nahi lekega. You have to make something out of it, right? So that's it. Let's take it further tomorrow. Okay? आज हम लोग आजाद हो. Have a good night's sleep and see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.